Good evening, podium chasers. That's right, it's me again, Mr. Martin Cooper here at Comms by Coops, and yeah, we've got some fantastic, well, practice has been pretty good so far. I'm sure we're going to have a great race this evening, so welcome everybody. This is the Formula Racing League Taco Tuesdays on the PS5 Tier 1. As you can see, there's a big list of names down that left-hand side, and some of them you'll be very familiar with over the last few weeks. I will get you all up to speed on that, don't worry. Just going to do a quick sound check. Beautiful. Okay, that's good. So, this is round 3 of this 8-round championship, Season 4, on the Formula Racing League Taco Tuesdays. And it has been entertaining, to say the least. Currently, and if anyone had a look on Sunday at the stream, I am still sat in this chair. Yep, I'm still at Laguna Seca, and I still haven't changed my clothes yet, so I'm looking forward to this one. So race format for this evening, the same as always. We're in free practice at the moment. We always like to join in free practice. I know we're currently sat in the pits, but just while we introduce everything, so there will be a 15-minute qualifying session upon completion of free practice, and then we will move into the 60-minute race. One mandatory stop where tyres is a must, fuel is optional, so it gives the guys a few things to think about. But yeah, I think this one's going to be pretty good. We did a race here on Sunday for the GT3 League, so if you haven't seen that, please do have a look at it. The lap record got absolutely smashed by one of our guys, Spacey12, did a 1:22.2, which is phenomenal, and the racing there was really good. It was two 30-minute races. Go and have a look at it. It was some of the best driving I've seen, so I'm expecting this one this evening to be, well, better. Why not? We're always looking to improve, so I want this one to be better for your entertainment as well. But I am a little bit worried, I have to say, because we're going to have, I think it's 28 in, 28 Tier 1 guys on the PS5. Everyone's jostling. We'll run through the standings in a minute. It's very, very close. Every point counts, as I say, every week on this one. And, well, Laguna as a track, she's very tight, she's very twisty. There's lots of places where you would look and think, well, you can make a move there and there, but can you? That is the real question. So I think the chaps all know to be a little bit cautious this evening, because otherwise we're going to either have probably the most epic race to date within this championship, or it's going to be total carnage. And I don't want that, because I don't want the lads getting disheartened and annoyed afterwards. So we've got to keep our powder dry, I think, this evening. So we're going to have a look at the standings in a moment. We will have a full lap guide, of course, and Coops Competition is back. I'm sure you guys will really keen to get involved in that. So whilst we are going to have a look at that, let's get out on track. Although I do love sitting here just listening to all these beautiful cars blast down the pit lane. What should we pick up to watch? Let's go with Freeman. Good idea, just as he goes off on the way up to the corkscrew. Let's go with Crazies as he goes through the corkscrew in his Beamer. So let's start. First of all, let's start by saying hello. We've got 4 people currently watching, so good evening, guys and girls. Please say hi. Let me know who's watching, so I can well, put you off if you're driving, or have a chat, whichever you want, really. Who's in? Scazzetti. Hello, Scazzetti. I hope you're very well. Dancing Queen Racing going for gold tonight. We shall see. It's going to be, I don't know how it's going to turn out. All I know is we've got a lot of really quick drivers, very competitive individuals, could be classed as alphas potentially, who all want the same piece of tarmac. So as you guys watch this lap unfold, I'm going to read you a little bedtime story, which is the driver stats and stuff like that, and then we're getting some juicy action. So let's get you all up to speed. So driver championship, currently in first place we have Freeman 82, on 70 points in his AMG Mercedes. Second place is Michael Races in his Ferrari on 69 points, so that's quite close, as someone puts it in the wall. Crazy's is third in his Beamer. We're on board with him now on 59 points, so there's a 11 point gap back from first place to him. Hutch is fourth, and Hutch has been having a great run at the moment. He actually put a picture out earlier on the Discord of his brand new setup, all ready to go, so I'm expecting big things tonight, Hutch. So he's on fourth. GTJ 1982 is fifth in his Beamer on 57 points. Then we've got Fearless in his Beamer on 56 points. Pony Feeder in the Ferraris on 51, and his teammate Kino DJ in his Ferrari is on 50. So that's a nice inter-team battle. See how that develops tonight. Rob 2K in the Beamer is on 47 points, and then Bruges in his Bentley is currently on 45 points. 1-1 Ferrari, surprisingly in the Ferrari, is on 44 points in 11th. 12th is Marty Road Racing on 43, and then we've got Reedy LFC in the McLaren on 39 points. Smalley in his McLaren on 36 points is 14th. Yvolton, our very own Chris Gedman, in the Bentley is 15th on 36 points, and then we've got GT Jamie 141. He's 16th on 34 points. Now GT Jamie the other day on Sunday couldn't race, or he had his kit with him but not a setup, if you like, so he jumped on excuse me, race 2 on the controller, and I think he still finished 9th, and picked up some valuable points in that championship, so well done. Hopefully you're on a wheel tonight. Supercar Race 17th in his Ferrari, 27 points. He's currently tied with Facco in the McLaren, also on 27 points. Then we've got SJ Disco 24, King of the Hills 24, we'll talk about him shortly. Dragon on Speeds 21st on 23 points, and then we've got Kagatacos, his teammate in the Porsche, on 18 points. Lamaro 83 is 23rd in the Merc on 16 points, and his teammate Elysium 101 is 24th on 14 points. And then Beamer Power, driving the Beamer, is 25th with 13 points. And then we've got Daryl on 10, Cascanova on 10, Traction Dave, there's your big anomaly there, ladies and gents, 28th with 8 points. And then Iceman Sean UK in his Bentley on 4, and Yo Mr. White Smurf is on 0, just joined, so I think tonight is his first race, so welcome Mr. Yo White Smurf. What a great name that is, fantastic. So that's your driver standings for the current setup at the moment. Now team wise, check who's giving me abuse in the chat at the moment. GT Jamie 141 says wheel is a go. Good, I'm glad to hear that. And Michael Races is currently conducting his pre-race routine now. He's done a 22.9. I'm sure after his routine he's going to be a little bit lighter, so he'll probably do a 22.8, but we'll see what happens with that one. So that's good to see those boys. So team championship, currently in first place we have team PSR, which is Fearless Freak and GTJ 1982 in the Beamer. They have 113 points. Tied with them in first place at the moment we've got Run DJC, which is Freeman 82 Marty Road Racing, and those boys have also got 113 points in their Mercedes. KG Racing are third, and that's Kino and Pony Feeder in the Ferrari. They're on 101 points, so they're only 12 off the lead there, which is good. So they'll probably be hoping to push up on that tonight. Not Fast Just Furious is King of the Hills and Hutch in the Bentley on 82 points. Now Hutch is obviously probably going to win this race because he's got a new setup, some Fanatec and stuff, which is great. King of the Hills won't be scoring any points this evening because he had an issue with his car, poor chap, and was waiting for someone, well, basically waiting for like RAC or whatever to come and sort him out, and that hasn't happened, so he's having to get a train back home. So he's not going to get in until we've all wound and dusted this one. So I have said we'll give him a shout out on the stream tonight. So we're thinking of you, King of the Hills, mate. We are thinking of you. And if anyone wants to donate on the Buy Me a Coffee page /comms by Coops, the donation, any donations we get tonight for that, we're going to put into a pot for King of the Hills just to make him happy. Okay. Anyway, back to the standings. Currently in 5th, One Fast One Furious, which is Michael Races and Traction Dave in their Ferrari on 77 points. Then we've got Blue Flag Motorsport which is Reedy and Smalley in the McLaren on 75, so that's tight. Remarkable Racing, which is 1-1, and Superkart Ray in the Ferrari, they're on 71 points. And then we've got the Pussay Patrol, apparently, which is Dale and Crazies in their Beamer on 69 points. What a great number to have with their team name. BMW Power, which is Rob 2K and Beamer Power, they're on 60 points. Lowlands Lions, which is Bruges and Cascanova in the Bentley, on 55 points in 10th. And then in 11th we've got Dancing Queen Racing, which is Faco and SJ Disco in the McLaren on 51 points. 12th we've got ST Motorsports, which is Dragon on Speed and Kagatacos in their Porsche. They're on 41 points. Dragon on Speed is not with us this evening, unfortunately, so Kaga's got a lot of work to do. Thistle and Link Motorsport, which is Yvolton and Iceman Sean UK in their Bentley on 40 points. And then we've got Slow In Fast Out, which is GT Jamie and Howler in the Merc on 34 points. They're in 14th. Howler's not with us this evening. And then we've got Alan E Racing, which is Lamaro and Elysium, propping up the grid at the moment on 30 points. Now, those two, even if they work together and get a half decent points haul, should elevate themselves unless Jamie decides to go and win the race. But you never know. So that is the driver standings, and that is the team standings at the moment. So we're all good. 8 watching at the moment. Again, good evening. Claire's in. Evening, Claire. It is a roller coaster of a track. It's a brilliant track. Unfortunately, I do need to let you guys know, so we've just had this big patch that's come out on Monday for the PS5, which was supposed to, well, obviously has fixed a number of issues that were going on in terms of force feedback, the music overlays, graphical things, you know, loads of stuff, which has fixed a lot of those, which is brilliant. But one of the things it hasn't fixed, as you can all gather, is the Spectator Mode, which I am very, very sad about, I've got to be honest with you, because it means I am stuck here still in car. So I'm sure you guys are used to it by now, and you know you're going to get great action out of me anyway, and we will catch everything as it happens. But it's we're losing a dimension or two, let's put it that way. So hopefully they'll do another hot fix soon, and it might be in there. Keep you posted. There you go. So yeah, glad you're with us, Claire. Let's see what Keno can do tonight. I've had a little chat with him pre-race, got a little strategy, and what it is he's going to go really, really fast and win. That's what he's going to do. Right, we'll call off Crazies. Right, so GTJ is obviously right up there in the standings, so there's another Beamer. Now, I've got to say, on Sunday, when we did the comms on Sunday for Tier 1 for the GT3 guys, I was quite surprised, actually. The Ferraris, the Lambos, and the McLarens, they all did pretty well. And obviously they're very twitchy cars, let's put it that way. So your more sort of beastlier vehicles, yeah, your Beamers, your Mercs, Bentleys, Lexuses, I'm not saying they didn't do well, but not as well as I expected. So that is a good strategy. I know, I thought that all myself, and you guys are going to absolutely love Coop's competition tonight. It's a brilliant question. I promise I didn't do the same question on Sunday because we're at the same track, but to find out you have to go and watch it. So we'll do that just before we get into qualifying, and then we'll obviously do a full lap guide once we're in qualifying as well. So lap times at the moment, so Michael's in the 22s, and then Crazies, that's good. He's going to have a point to prove, because on Sunday Crazies was in a McLaren and she was not his best friend, so he ended up actually sitting out both those races in the pits because he was having some pretty major issues. So we'll see what happens this evening in that Beamer. Now, we know the Beamer's not massively strong in a straight line, but she is strong when it comes to braking and turning, which Laguna is all about braking and turning. So I'd expect the Beamers to go strong here anyway. So Crazy's GTJ Freeman traction, yeah, so there's half a second in there, bit of a gap back to Jamie. So we've got 26 at the moment. Let's just run through who we do have in. So Michael Races, Crazies, GTJ's in, Freeman 82, Traction Dave, GT Jamie's in, Elysium, Pony Feeder Bruges, Marty Road Racing, Smalley's in, Rob 2K, you're Mr. White Smurf, again, howdy, welcome, enjoy your first outing with us. Be safe. Be safe. No. Smalley's put a comment on the live chat, which is, everyone needs to ignore that. Don't read the live chat. It's banned. That bit needs to be taken off, because I'm sure he's trying not to ruin Coop's competition this evening. We'll get there. Cascanova, evening. Yeah, he's not doing well today. He wishes everybody good luck, so that's fantastic. Oh, Ash is a Macam. Okay. Interesting. Thanks for that information. It's good to know. It's always good to know. Being a Coventry fan, we love each other. Anyway, where we're at. So, you're Mr. Whitesmith. 1-1 Ferrari's in, Reedy's in, Keno's obviously in. We've got Ash there. Ash is, again, I think this is the third race of the season, and Ash has managed to... smart strategy, Ash. Yeah, he's been the reserve, and every week he's been able to get in his preferred car. So he's managed to avoid, at the start of the season when we do the car reveal and the team, we put the teams together. So he picks whatever he wants, which is good. So he's got his Beamer essentially for the entire season. Hutch is in with Mr. Fanatec there. I think he's going to try and overtake Dow for the Fanatec sponsorship deal. Lamaro's in, Fearless is in, SJ Disco, Beamer Power, Faco, get it right, Supercar Ray, Yavolton, Zuba and Kagatako. So 27 in there, which is great. So we're just coming towards the end of free practice, and that's worked seamlessly, hasn't it? So it's great. So tonight I'm going to try not to look too much at the live chat. I mean, if it's something really amazing, then put it in there. Obviously, talk amongst yourselves, that's totally fine. Let me know who you think is going to do well. What do you think is going to happen tonight? I think tonight it's either going to be, as I said before in the Discord, this is either going to be the most epic race we've ever had on FRL, or there's going to be a record number of rage quits. That's my actual opinion on it. So... a little bit cut, look, get it in there. FRL, Daz Parker on the website, merch. Not quite cold yet, so I better leave that a little while longer. Make sure it's stone cold. Yeah, so again, any of the information I've run through, if you guys want to check that out afterwards, that's totally fine. Or see, I mean, the standings get updated pretty much in real time when the race finishes. Will Friedman's just straight on it as we get into qualifying, so let's just keep an eye on that. So 15-minute qualifying session coming up. Who's going out there? That's not Jamie, that was not Marty, so I think we'll find out. Come on, Supercar Ray, this is brilliant, I love it. That's it, everyone get in your corners and support your guys. I want to see pictures of scarves and flags, hat, no, don't. But it's brilliant that there's people in having a look. So Michael's out. So Traction on Sunday won his maiden FRL, well, his maiden victory in FRL. It's been coming for a while. He's a quick driver. Him and Michael do a lot of driving together, a lot of practice. I think they've got their own little server, which is, that's the way that you need to do it. And yeah, he managed to do a really good race on Sunday. Won by a huge margin, actually, of which he was no doubt extremely pleased. So he can't say he doesn't know the track. Now let's see if he gets on with the Ferrari better than the Lambo. That will be the interesting one to see this evening. So Michael is first out the back, so we'll stay on with him, and when we get into a fast lap, we'll do ourselves a lap guide. And then once we've done the lap guide, we'll do Coop's competition, because I know you're all desperate to win what is possibly the best prize on the planet. Okay, so coming across the start finish line then, as we're going to get into a fast lap. So obviously it's downhill, left side, so we want to be on the right hand side of the track, hard on the brakes, down to first into Andretti hairpin. It's a double left, it's like a double apex, so you can see the little groove there. You just want to keep it tight there. Apex after the sausage curve, drag the car over to the left, on the brakes at the one board, down to second, took her in a little bit wide there, but again tyres has only been out for one lap. and you don't want to go down a gear, you just want to brake and ease off slightly, clip that curb, drift out to the left, and then full beans all the way down to this corner, and I'll tell you why I said that in a minute. Down to second, turn her in, you want to clip probably a little bit tighter than that, and then we've got the run up the hill towards the back part of the circuit, down a gear, tuck it in, straight on the power. What? I knew that was going to happen. So this is the right wheel straight on the climb up towards the infamous corkscrew. So just before the curving on the right, get hard on those brakes, trail right in first gear. We want to swing left to start with, and then just drag the car over to the right. You've got to be careful with the throttle there. And then for this particular corner, as soon as you're in third gear and you've got your line, you just need to pause. You just coast through there. Into second for this one, hard on the power. Then you've got the boards on the right. Round about now, you want to get hard on the brakes, down into first, trail in, cut that curb, which we'll see more of that on the next lap, no doubt, and away we go. So you guys are probably now sitting there thinking, Coops, why with a 123.5 for Michael? Why didn't you name any of the corners? Well, as I alluded on Sunday, whoever was commissioned with this track setup to put the corner names on there obviously had a half day, or well, a quarter of a day, because there's 11 directional changes in the circuit corners, but only 4 bits have a name. So yeah, that's why you got this corner and this corner, which is unfortunate. So anyways, we're on board with Traction at the moment, who is gone a little bit quicker, 75 thousandths quicker than Michael at the top, and then Freeman is currently in third in his Merc. Rob 2K's, that's a good effort from Rob in fourth, and then we've got Ash in his Beamer in fifth. GT Jamie in a Merc with a steering wheel today is currently sat in sixth. Then we've got Hutch, Faco, Lamaro and Fearless Freak, and obviously these are going to change. So Coops competition, whilst we are keeping an eye on all of these doubters. And Smalley, you're not allowed to answer this, ignore what you wrote earlier on, guys. So Coops competition, we've got 10 minutes before you can put an answer in, so answers come in when qualifying has finished. That is the rule. Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lagoon, okay? And when they reconfigure the track, they put a couple of things into the track layout. Okay, what I want to know is, what did they put in the track layout? Okay, so that's the question. So Laguna Seca means dry lagoon in Spanish. When they've reconfigured the track, they put a couple of things in. And what did they put in? That's what I'd like to know. Bear in mind, it's quite dry. So what do think about that? No answers until qualifying is finished. Please, let's see if we can do that. Right. So Crazy's in his Beamer is currently sat on provisional pole with a 1:23.181. That is not a bad time. I can feel the 22s coming. We have got an optimal track. It's 26 degrees in terms of ambient and 33. So I mean, we are full hot lap mode here, aren't we? So this should be blistering. Oh, I haven't met, obviously Mike is with us tonight. Hi Mike. He's not saying much. He told me earlier on he's totally speechless from the race on Sunday, the quality of that race. So he said he's just going to sit here and listen tonight. Probably echo some of my views as well. It's terrible, and it gets so bad. If Dow was on the live chat now, he'd be crucifying me, seriously. But there you go. So we've got 9 and a bit minutes left of this qualifying session. We are on board with GT Jamie. Let's just see how he finishes this lap, see if he can improve, push himself further up the grid. He does, he goes fourth, to be expected. And if you look at the top, I did say we're almost in the 22s. We are definitely in the 22s. Michael's done a 22.7, and you'll also remember from free practice when Michael kindly put that comment in the live chat about having his pre-race routine. I said he'd be lighter and be doing a 22.8. So I won that one, 10 points to me. So Crazy is currently sat provisional second. Traction's going to want to do something about that. Then we just saw GT Jamie complete his lap, go from 12th to 4th. We've also got to think that, you know, yes, it's an optimum track, but we've got nearly 30 guys out on track. So in terms of the track evolution, how many times did I just say track? A million. In terms of the evolution of the asphalt of which they are driving upon, it's better. That's going to be, I think, quite a big factor So I'm expecting those times to come down even more, to be fair. And the amount of guys they've got out there at the moment, everybody seems to be finding a little bit of space, although we do have a gaggle down there, quite a big gaggle down there actually. Let's try and find that one. So Elysium's just coming out the pits. He's currently in 9th place. So Freeman's 5th, Pony Feeder, Traction, oh my word, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Traction's just done a 122.251 now. I'm racking my brains here because I know the lap record was a 22.2 and I think it might have been a 276, so Traction might have just done a new lap record, which would be pretty amazing, and well done if that is a new lap record, but that's certainly a competitive time, let's say that. So Elysium's currently in 10th, that's not going to help him doing that. Reedy's in 11th, see if he can move up the grid as he completes this lap. No, might be just coming on to one. So Ash is 12th, Yo Mr. White Stuff's in 13th. Let's have a look at him in his Mercedes. Obviously we haven't had a chance to look at him yet, so no pressure. Just got to be brave, got to be really brave. So he's currently 13th, Smalley's 14th, Faco is currently in 15th place, Kino's 16th, Hutch 17th, Lamara 18th, Womp1 is 19th, Superkart Ray is currently in 20th, 3.1 seconds off the pace. I am sure that will change. Volton's 21st, 3.273 off the pace, SJ Disco's 22nd, Fearless Freak's 23rd, Kagatako's in that Porsche is 24th, nearly 4.5 seconds down, that's a big old gap, Kaga, so let's get out there and set a decent lap, dude. Zuba, who's standing in tonight, he hasn't set a time yet, nor's Beamer, and then Bruges is still sat in the pits. So Mr. Yo White Smurf has moved up from 13th to 11th, so well done that man, nice improvement there. Right, who's coming around there? That's a 444, that's Ash. So Ash has just come across the line in his Beamer. Let's give him a little bit of time. We've got 5.5 minutes left of this qualifying session. 6 watching the live stream. Good evening, everybody. You join us in qualifying for this 15-minute session, which will of course be followed by a 60-minute race with one mandatory stop. I do believe we've also just witnessed a new lap record, and if it's not, it's 20 thousandths in it, if that. So that's pretty epic from him. Freeman pits from 4th, but Traction and Co are still all out on track. Yeah, as we've had a couple more join, I'll quickly throw out Coop's competition. I've just checked Smalley is not in the pits because he'll ruin it otherwise. No, Smalley's out on track. So Coop's competition this week, okay? The prize, if you win this competition, is a free setup from me, any car, any track. No issues there. That's what we always give out. And the question is, Laguna Seca stands for dry lagoon in Spanish. Okay. When they reconfigured the track, they put a couple of things in there. What I want to know is, what did they put in? Okay. So when qualifying finishes, pop an answer in there, and we'll see how we get on. Matthew Lawrence, good evening. Hi Matthew, hope you're well. Come on, Superkart Ray. Where is Superkart Ray? Let's have a look at him, shall we? Because we've got a little fan club for Superkart Ray in his 58 Ferrari. There you go, look. You put him off, guys. So Superkart Ray is still currently in 20th. And we know the Ferrari's twitchy around here, but we can't say she doesn't have the pace, because look at the top two. Both Ferraris in the 22s, which is impressive. That is impressive. So Crazy's is probably just in the 22s. With his time, 3 minutes 40 left. Let's have a look at Superkart Ray. Let's see if he can improve from his current 22nd at the moment. So as he comes down to the Andretti hairpin, got to get nice and hard on there, just roll her in and then squeeze on the throttle now. Okay, a little bit back end happy there, so all the way over to the left on the brakes into second, turn her in, clip that curb. There's a bit wide there, he's losing time through there, so I think his braking points need to come forward a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. And then he needs to get hard on the power now. Hope you're watching, Matthew. And you, yes. Into second for this one, tuck her in. Don't touch that sausage curb. It's you know what, it's all about these turning points. Unlucky Superkart Ray, that was unlucky. So we'll have a look. Is Michael going to be able to topple his teammate, or is Traction Dave now showing us what he's all about? You know, he's let Michael settle in and take loads of fast lap, you know, lap records everywhere and win a championship and stuff, and now Traction's like, it's my turn. Go faster, Ray. Yes, Ray, go faster. So, any change up top? So, Traction, Michael, Crazy's, Freeman, they are all the same. We've got GT Jamie to be expected there. Rob's doing pretty nicely in that beam, I have to say. 1.3 off the pace, so that's respectable. Who's that? That's a Ferrari. That's Traction off the track. Yep. And then GTJ is in the pits, 7th, and Marty as well in 8th. Pony Feeders in 9th. How's your teammate getting on, Kino? Just bearing in mind some of the team battles that are happening at the moment in terms of points. So I know Kino and Pony are 12 points off the lead. So just keeping an eye on what everyone's up to. 1-1 Ferrari's doing pretty well there. Yo, Mr. White Smurf, well done you, dude. You're into the top 10. So steadily he has been improving lap on lap. So I think on his last one he was then 2.2 off the pace. He's now 1.9. Which is very, very good. Kaga. We haven't been on with Kaga yet. Let's see what Kaga could do in that Porsche. Just keep an eye on those doubters. Again, everyone that's watching, if you haven't had the pleasure before, I do thank you for giving time to watch our Chargers blast around this track. I can't change the view, unfortunately. The patch did not fix the Spectator Mode, so we are going to be stuck in car, which is fine. We'll keep an eye on everything else that's going on, but I'm hoping they fix that pretty soon. So no change in the top 5, no change in the top 6, as you can see there. As we see what that Porsche is like through the corkscrew, not bad, it wasn't too bad. GTJ, Marty, Pony, that's your top 10. We don't have long left, 30 odd seconds by my take up there, so Kaga will get across the line to get another lap in. So this is now quite important that people, well, are delivering what they need to, or they manage to get out for another lap. So GT Jamie's in the pits, he's not going to improve. Freeman's in the pits, he's not going to improve. So 4th and 5th respectively, if it finishes that way. Who else has completed their qualifying session? GTJ's in the pits. Pony and Yo Mr. White Smurfs in the pits as well. Elysium's in the pits. Kino, Hutch, SJ Disco, Faco, Fearless Freak, Beamer Power, Zuber and Bruges are all in the pits currently, as is Michael. So Crazy's is the only person who can take pole position away from Traction, and he's not going to do it by doing that. So it looks to me like Traction is going to be our pole sitter, which is fantastic. Well done him. So we're in the wait time, so people can now just complete their laps. They won't get any more in. Who's 58? 58, Superkart Ray. That's twice. See guys, I want to give you, the viewers, more footage of Superkart Ray, because you're here to support the guy. But I also don't want to, every time I look at him, for him to bin it, because then he's going to hate me. Right, Traction's still going round. I think he wants to try and get in the 21s maybe, but I think your qualifying session is pretty much done. We'll just wait for confirmation on that. Yeah, so no one's answered the question yet. I'll put it out there again. Laguna Seca means dry lagoon in Spanish. Come on, ladies and gents, not you, Smalley. Not you, Smalley, you're not allowed. It means dry lagoon in Spanish. When they reconfigured the track, they added a couple of things in. What did they add? What did they add into the track? Yeah, bearing in mind, it's pretty dry. So there we go. Traction Dave is on pole position. Front row lockout for those boys. So Traction and Michael, teammates in the Ferrari, locked out the front row. I'd say that's brilliant to see, and it is great to see, because it shows that practice helps. I wouldn't say makes perfect. Yeah, I don't know, Matthew. I don't know why he's there. The Ferrari is very skittish around this track, so you know, tyre pressures, you know, setup tweaks. I mean, he'll be looking at that now, I'm sure. But I mean, it is a fast grid, dude. And Sean Freeman says, "Traction, are you sure? What a lap!" Yeah, he's doing all right. So, of the 8 that are watching now, if any of you haven't pressed the like button, please press the like button. It helps get more viewers to have a look at what we're doing here, helps bring more people to have a look at FRL in general, and what a great community we do have here. So please take half a second and do this right now. Like, thanks very much. So traction on pole, Michael second. Crazies is in third place with Freeman. That's going to be interesting with those two off the line. GT Jamie and Rob are 5th and 6th. GTJ in 1982 is 7th with Marty Road Racing alongside him. Pony Feeder is 9th with Yo Mr. Whitesmith. Really impressed with his debut so far in the top 10. Ash is 11th with 1-1 Ferrari next to him in 12th. Elysium is 13th. It won't be unlucky. It will be fine. Reedy is 14th. Keno's 15th. Really, really weird. Keno, when I was chatting to him earlier on this evening, I said to him, what's your pace like? How's the car feeling? Because I was doing some donuts in front of him in practice earlier. And he turned around and he just said, I don't know, I reckon about 15th for qualifying. And he's 15th. So he knows what's going to happen in this race. And please tell me the lottery numbers, Keno. Thank you. Hutch is 16th. Smalley 17th. SJ Disco is 18th. Then we've got Yvolton 19th. Faco in 20th. Lamaro's 21st. Alongside Fearless Freak. Then we've got Kagatako's not sure he was really happy with the Porsche really in that qualifying session, alongside Superkart Ray, who has a massive fan club with us tonight. So hello everybody, we hope he does well. But Superkart Ray doesn't seem to be getting on with that Ferrari currently, certainly from the time I spent looking at the onboards. Beamer Powers 25th with Zubair 26th, and Bruges, it says he's 27th. Not 100% sure if he's actually on the grid or not. So there you go. There is your classifieds from... that is a great view. That is a great view. So we'll do that. No, we won't do that. We'll go with Freeman to start with, so we can see the two Ferraris battling, and then he can have a battle with Crazies into turn 1. They added extra corners. I don't know, actually, but they might have done. That isn't the answer to the question, Scazzetti, but thank you for actually putting an answer in. I'm going to leave it open. Don't blame the car, only the driver. Matthew isn't in the fan club anymore. He's just, you can see he's just changed. I don't know whose fan club he's in now. I won't blame the car. I drive the Ferrari. I like the Ferrari. But yeah, so good. We've got some likes coming in. Please continue doing that. And whilst we all sat here, you will probably see, I'm sure there was a link at the start. I do pop this in every week. buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops. If anyone wants to donate, one off. It's not Patreon. It's not a monthly thing. You know, a couple of quid. Help support the channel. Help support FRL. You know, every little helps. But I do it for free anyway, because I love doing the job, so there's no problem there. They added extra. I wonder if they did add extra corners. Here's an interesting one. So we've got a minute left. So as we always sort of trying to think about at this moment in time, obviously the guys will be looking in their setups. They'll be thinking about their strategy now. Are they going to go early? I'm sure everybody is very, very mindful that it's a really tight track. It's a very twisty track. Yeah, if people are going to fuel for the end, if they're going to fuel for the full 60 minutes, they're going to have heavy cars, guys. Heavy cars. We're going to have tyres which aren't up to temp. We're going to have brakes which aren't up to temp. And we know what turn 1 looks like at the bottom of this hill. So you've got gravity involved as well. Please take it easy, boys. Please take it easy through turn 1. In fact, for the first lap, I think take it easy, because I don't know, I've just got this premonition in my head that we're going to see quite a few people not on the track throughout the first part of this race. So 8 seconds to go. It will be a full formation lap as always, where the chaps can, you know, utilise that time to get those tyres and brakes set up. Who's going to the pits? Smalley's gone into the pits. No, oh, it's put me in my car. Brilliant. Right, traction. Let's go on board with Freeman as we were. So obviously you saw it just stick me in my car there. My car shouldn't even be here, obviously. I'm in the commentary box. Such is the state of the game, still, unfortunately. Okay, Scazzetti's going racing. He says, good luck, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us this evening, Scazzetti. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully you'll come back and you'll watch some more another time. Problem is, you know, they're going to do a slow. Well, it's going to be a slow formation lap, isn't it? So, how much tempo they're going to manage to get in those tyres and brakes? That's the other thing they need to be thinking about. So, 27 guys. Is Bruges out on track? He is out on track. I think Bruges has actually come up with a very clever plan. I think at this track, with the amount of people we've got on here, if you're first, well, I mean, it's not guaranteed, obviously, because the first set of corners it's just so technical, isn't it? But either if you're up top or if you're at the back, that's got to be your safest place. Similar to Monza in that respect, you know, in terms of turn one. So maybe Bruges is just being a little bit coy with that. So Smalley and Iceman UK are going to start from the pit lane. Let's see what happens. So we can see who's weaving and who's driving in. So Michael, he doesn't care about weaving. Look at him. He's just got to be dragging that brake pedal there. He's just got to be heating up the brakes, which will obviously dissipate heat out into the tyre carcass as well. So that's obviously his way of heating up there. We're now forming up 2 by 2, so we are getting ready, peeps. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. In fact, it's going to be epic. Without a doubt. Let's hope. Even with the flaws, we catch everything. Let's hope that happens, okay? Obviously, any questions in the live chat, pop them in there. We're going to do a little shout out to anybody. Pop it in there. We want you all to feel included in what goes on here at Formula Racing League. This is going to be a busy hour. White pedal Ray, yeah. White pedal Ray. Okay, so back onto the start finish straight. Are you ready? I am. I wish I had different camera angles to share with you all. I really do, but it is what it is. And we're off, and we're going. So Freeman gets a pretty good start there. Obviously, I can't see if Crazies is right upside him. Well, we can just change it to there and have a look. So Crazies are going to claim that inside line. Traction and Michael both nicely through there. Potentially Michael was protecting him there. Right, so those have all got through. Has everyone else got through? I can't see any yellows on there, but I'm sure there will be. As we go on to 1-1 Ferrari, he's obviously had an incident there. Yo, Mr. White Smurf, the computer's doing its thing on the left-hand side. It does that at the start of the race, so we will have to let that play out, whilst I keep my eye on the map for any yellows. Can't see any at the moment. So obviously, we're just waiting for everyone to come through the first couple of timing sectors. I was just going to say, there's a guy in the pits with 101. I'm looking at the mini-map, and that's obviously me. Right, anyway, so we now have Deltas, which is good. So traction's out on front, coming up through the corkscrew for the first time. Yeah, she looked pretty... Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. So Michael's following in second place. Then nearly a second behind we've got Crazies. Freeman's only 4 tenths off there. So we need to, obviously, lap 1, things are going to be fairly tight. So we just want to be able to have a look through and see. We've got, who's that? We've got a yellow up there. Ah, yo, Mr. White Smurf, after a fantastic qualifying session there. Obviously, we don't know what happened. We don't know if there was a touch or anything like that, but he had a fantastic qualifying session. Don't reverse there, you're going to get clobbered. That was close. That was close. Stay on the grey bit. I totally agree. Keep it on the grey stuff. So we have got... That's a real shame. Mate, you've got an hour. Dump it in the pits now. Dump it in the pits now. Get your pit stop done early and crack on. So Iceman Sean, he's out. Is he going to put it in the pits? No, he's just going to stay out. That's fair enough. So Smalley and Iceman Sean UK did start from the pit lane, so they are both at the rear of the grid currently. Then we've got Fearless Freak, and whose Ferrari was that? That's one, so he's got damage. We saw that he'd had an incident earlier on at the beginning of the race, but the fact that, I mean, Fearless just walked past him, didn't he? So I'm assuming he's got some damage. Zubair's in 22nd, so he's chasing Hutch. Hutch with his Fanatec gear, obviously it's going to take a bit of getting used to. So this is his first outing with all of that set up. He's in the Bentley, 21st position, chasing down Facco. And I told you Bruges might have had a little cunning plan there at the start. He's just kept his powder dry. Oh, and Beamer goes jumping, kangarooing across the road there. I'm sure you all saw that, so that was quite entertaining. So that's going to annoy him, and that's going to give, oh, who's that? So Facco's just had a move done on him, so things are starting to get a little bit more spicy now. Superkart Ray, you will all, Superkart Ray fan club, be pleased to see that he's managed to get himself up currently to 17th. He's chasing down Kagatako's SJ Disco and Lamaro. He's not too far off the back of them. He's only a 10th. So that's a nice battle developing. We're going to sit on Superkart Ray for a minute, whilst I just go up here and check that all is well at the top. Traction Michael Crazies, that is still your top 3. Freeman, GTJ and Rob. Okay, so there's been no change there, although GTJ 82, 1982 looks like he wants to put a bit of pressure on Rob. So let's have a look at that. That's the closest battle at the moment in the top part of the field. Marty's running 8th, so that's nice from him in the Mercedes, but he's 8/10ths down at the moment. Then we've got Ponyfeeder in 9th. Elysium's in the top 10. That's good. That's an improvement on where he certainly qualified. And then Ash is still holding 11th place. Kino's gone from 15th to 12th. We'll have a look at him shortly, and he's under a second behind Ash, so that is a positive start from him. And your Volton again, well, I think this is becoming a habit for him in this Bentley. He qualifies quite far back, and then he always makes his way through the field, doesn't he? Now, there's some smart strategy in there, there's some patientness, well, it's got to be patient, consistency. Chris doesn't very often throw things off the track, so that looked like Kino DJ's had a problem there. What's going on there? Why's it gone? Why did that just go to 18th? Okay. Well, something has certainly just happened there, because previously when we were looking at Kagatako's, he was down here. So the computer's obviously done what it does best. Go on, Kaga, let's get some good points, mate. Kaga's always really complimentary in the live chat when he can't be with us, so I hope he does well today. If King of the Hills is watching, howdy. King of the Hills should have been racing tonight. I did say at the top of the show he had car issues, shall we say, and has ended up having to get public transport back home. So he reckons 10, 11 o'clock before he gets in, which I don't envy. So hopefully you're watching this, mate. The official SKR fan club. Do you get a t-shirt? Listen, Matthew, you can get as many t-shirts as you want. I mean, knock yourself out. I mean, I don't provide them. I'm not in the SKR fan club. I'm in everybody's fan club. So speak to Daz Parker, send him a design, and he'll make you a t-shirt. That's no problem. So no change in the top 3 still. Freeman, GTJ and Rob, they're still all sat there. But there is some pressure. Marty Road Racing is beginning to apply the pressure, and we know in terms of the championship, these boys are both set up there. In terms of team championship, are both set up there in the top 2. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Why is Kino in 17th? I want to know that. I'll tell you what, you can get a t-shirt. Make sure I get 15. No, I'm joking. Superkart Ray, brilliant. I'm going to ping him after this. I'm going to say to him, your fan club are getting a bit disgruntled, mate. A, you need to qualify better off and finish higher up in the race, but B, you need to get some merch out there for your fans. I'll let them know, don't worry. Right, 7 of you watching, thanks for being with us. We've got 28 degrees ambient, 37 track temp, so the tyres are going to get munched up a little bit at the moment. Crazies has brought that gap down from 9.5 tenths to 6 tenths, so his tyres might be coming into it a bit more. His found himself into a little groove. Who knows? But so Rob is under some serious pressure here from GTJ 1982. Marty's just hanging on to the back of them. These boys have a little love tap, and then Marty's going to be perfectly placed to take advantage of that. Let's just see how that plays out into the Andretti hairpin. Then moves on. Are they going to touch? That's really close. Are they going to touch? No. So Rob holds the inside line as we go through. Under my bridge there, Cooper Tyres. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. And we'll just keep an eye on this battle. It's a pretty close one. So Rob takes the defensive line. GTJ is trying to be aggressive around the outside, and there's no trying about it really. He's got that done and dusted. So that was an excellent move, so that should free him. And now look at this, Marty Road Racing, he's taking advantage as well. That is not a part of the track where you want to try and be side by side through there, boys. There is one line through there, so that was excellent driving from you two. Wow, isn't this all just absolutely fantastic? Pony feeder, whilst he's watching all these boys fight, you've got to remember it's a really short track. Yeah, it's not a long track, so everyone's getting busy fighting. You are going to be losing a lot of time. So Pony feeder saw that scrap going on and thought, well, I'll have a piece of that, and he did. So he finds himself in 8th place now, not too far off the back of Rob. Marty Road Racing, well, he's just on the back of him as well. He's only a 10th off there, so we'll keep on this one for the moment. No change in the top 3. Crazies has brought that gap down a little bit more, so it was 6/10, it's now half a second. So we do need to be mindful that maybe Crazies might have a little bit extra tyre life in that Beamer as we watch this battle unfold. But again, it's not just this. Elysion is right on the back of these boys in his Merc, so we've got some nice battles developing at the moment. Kagatakos has got that Porsche up to 12, so he's having an absolutely brilliant race at the moment because he did not qualify well. You remember that? Maybe it was what I said. Maybe use that as a pep talk for motivation about him not doing too well in that Porsche. Yvolton's still there in 13th place, and then we've got SJ Disco, Lamaro, and Superkart Ray. Superkart Ray is in 16th place, 2.5 seconds behind Lamaro, so still got quite a bit of work to do. Kino DJ's only 3/10 off the back of him. Would like to go and have a look at that battle as well, so we'll keep an eye. Then Hutch is only 2/10 off the back of Facco, so let's have a look at Kino, as he looks like we've got a battle of the Ferraris here, boys. The Superkart Ray fan club will be clenching right now because their hero is coming under pressure from Kino in his Ferrari. Fair enough. Well, we have something in writing there on the live chat that says from yes, top 10 finish for Superkart Ray, and he'll make some t-shirts. Come on, Superkart Ray, I want one of those as well, please. Thanks. Right, potential move coming on. Kino's got a good drag down the start-finish straight. Let's keep it clean, boys. Hard onto the brakes. Okay, that was clean, that was nice. As they go through Andretti hairpin. So, both in a Ferrari. The only differences with these will be slight tweaks on the setup. Have they set the tyres up? What fuel are they carrying? But obviously, other than that, oh no! Get off it! Get off it! Kino just tagged the sausage curve there, and that was never going to end well. Again, we've been keeping an eye on this one for a little while. Crazies has been slowly a 10th here and a 10th there, closing up onto the back of Michael, who's in 2nd place, and you can see quite literally he's now only a couple of tenths behind him as there is a back marker in place. So Traction is out up top, so Traction's got a 2.8 second lead back to Michael. I'd say that's comfortable. Michael's not going to be feeling too comfortable at the moment with Crazies all over the back of him, and then there's a pretty decent gap that was actually well done getting out of the way. Was that Iceman Sean UK? Let me just check. I believe it was Iceman Sean UK. Well done, that man. So, good driving for him. So Freeman's still in 4th, GT Jamie's still in 5th. They're all reasonably gapped. GTJ 1982, not to be confused with GT Jamie. GT Jamie there. Anyway, those two, they're pretty evenly gapped. Pony Feeder's currently doing pretty well on that Ferrari. He's in 7th place. And then we've got Rob in 8th, who's still trying to keep just keep on his coattails. He's a second behind at the moment. Marty Road Racing has not given up on that, and this is that 4-car gaggle that we were looking at before. So Elysium is 10th currently, 6 tenths off from Marty Road Racing, who's only 4 tenths off from Rob 2K, and then Ash is just behind them in the Beamer, so he probably needs to just squeeze up a little bit more. But these boys are all really primed, and Pony doesn't. It now seems to be getting dragged back into that by the look of it. So bear in mind, whilst all these guys are fighting, look at the delta. So Kagatako's in 12th in his Porsche, is 3.1 seconds behind Ash at the moment in 11th. Yeah, I want to keep my eye on that, because I really believe this track, with it being so short and twisty, as soon as you start getting into a fight with somebody, the amount of time you're going to lose will be substantial. So keep an eye on that. Wow, we've definitely got some chaps with a sense of humour in the live chat this evening, which is brilliant. I don't mind that at all. Matthew says, with the t-shirt will say, I supported Superkart Ray and all I got was this t-shirt. I know, right? I mean, look, I give my entire life to FRL for comms. Matthew, this is for you, and this. And now it is stone cold. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right. So these boys are still having a play. What did I say about that delta? How far was Kaga behind half a lap ago? 3.1 seconds. Now 2.8. So. Oh, Elysium. This is going. Elysium. He's going to get them both. Be brave, buddy. Be brave. Be brave. Be brave. Oh, look at this, boys. What a move that is into the corkscrew. Well done, Elysium. Fantastic move there, my man. Up to 8th place. Marty is still in 9th, but again, Marty's elevated himself there. Rob 2K 10th, and Ash. I don't know if Ash wants to get involved, or if he just is hoping or thinking they might all have something to say to each other, which could definitely happen. Anyway, let's keep going down the grid as we. Let's move back one so we can see these boys scrapping in front. Top of the grid, Traction still out top, still got his 2.8 seconds on. Michael Crazies is still 3rd, still 3.5 tenths behind. Those three have pulled more of a gap on Freeman there. That was like 3.8 seconds, it's now 5. So those boys are obviously just helping each other pull away. We're currently watching this midfield battle between Elysium, who's just pulled off a spanking move into the corkscrew to take 2 places. So Marty Road Racing, Rob and Ash, those guys are involved in this scrap at the moment. Then Uvalton's up to 11th. Let's give Chris, come on Chris, let's give come on Chris, come on, go. So Uvalton's in 11th place in his Bentley. He's going to be having a whale of a time, no doubt. But he does have a bit of pressure coming though. SJ Disco in the McLaren. We haven't had a look at a McLaren today in the hands of one of our PS5 Tier 1 drivers. So let's have a quick look at SJ Disco. He's got a 4-second gap back to Lamara, so that's pretty fine. Superkart Ray's in 14th. We'll get to him in a minute, boys. Keep your powder dry. Kagatako's is then 15th. Hutch 16th. He's got a 4-second gap to Beamer Power. Then we've got One Ferrari's another 7 seconds behind, with Reedy under a second. So, you know, there are some semi-decent gaps appearing now as people get settled. Bruce is in 20th, so Bruce has made up 7 places from the start. I'm surprised he hasn't pitted yet. Smalley did put it in the pits, so he's going for a long run at this second stage of the race. Iceman UK still out. Faco's 24th, and Mr. Whitesmith at the debut race with us, I do believe, this evening. Really impressed me in qualifying. Qualified in the top 10 as Uvalton goes skippy-doo. Didn't cut the grass though, because there isn't any. So he was building sandcastles today. Uvalton is our sandcastle builder today. Well, the chat, they're just excited about t-shirt. Listen guys, there are 9 of you in the chat, right? Don't let IS and Matthew take over the live chat. Please get involved as well. Tell them what t-shirt you want. I don't know, ask some questions, find out how they know Superkart Ray. Did they grow up with him? Is he a best mate? Do they work with him? Is he a brother? I don't know. Let's find out some information. Let's go for it. Right, so SJ Disco obviously made up that place there. So in terms of the close battles, what we've got, so Kaga's now, well, I think Kaga's made a move on that, or that's what's happened there. He's got ahead. So Superkart Ray is 13th, and look at him putting the pressure on Limaro. Come on, boys! Superkart Ray up to 13th place. If he's watching this feed, he knows the pressure's on. Do you know? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I did this in qualifying. I'm not going to look at him. Superkart Ray fan club. I'm sorry. I can't look at him because every time I do, he throws it off the track. Right, so traction is still up front. He's now got a 4.5 second lead over Michael, so he's turned up the wick considerably. Michael's eked out half a tenth over Crazy, so he's 4.5 tenths ahead. Freeman is still 4th. GT Jamie is still 5th. Pony Feeder is now up to 6th place. Okay, he's 9.2 seconds off Jamie, but he is having a good race today. In fact, well, Pony Feeder had a fantastic race last week. Let's not forget that. So, winning. So then we've got Elysium's in 7th. I mean, that move that he just did was so opportunist. Yeah, it was fantastic. He saw an opportunity, two were battling away, and he just thought, I'll have both of you at the same time, and he did. Mighty Road Racing was one of those. Him and Rob are still battling away. Rob in his Beamer, and Ash is still there, so they're not dropping Ash. He's got to be happy with that, being in the top 10 at the moment. And then SJ Disco, he's trying to get on the back of these boys. Superkart Ray, no, get off him. He's still in 13th, chasing Amaro. I've got nothing against Superkart Ray if you've just joined us and watching this commentary, but every time I look at him, he crashes, and he's got a fan club in the live chat. He really does have a fan club in the live chat. So I don't want to curse it. So Kaga in the 88 Porsche is still 14th. So he... Well, we can look at Superkart Ray from this position, can't we? Apparently Superkart Ray's been paying people to be his friend. Yeah, I know someone who does that as well. Someone's coming out of the pits there. Who's coming out of the pits? Bruges, Smalley, Fearless. No, Fearless is coming in, so that's going to be Bruges coming out of the pits. So Bruges has got his stop nailed. Faco's coming to the pits as well. So people are starting to play their hand. Crazies is under 4 tenths now. Mighty Road Racing and Elysium. Well, these boys have been having a battle all race long so far. And I love to see it. I love this close racing. Touchwood, we haven't had any major issues. I can think of 2. I won't name them. There's been 2 sort of offs that we've caught on camera. Nothing wrong with those offs, obviously. Oh, what's this? Oh. So GTJ 1982 has just come into the live chat and his game's crashed on him, which is hence why. That's why Pony Feeder is up to 6th place, because GTJ was running there. Oh mate, I'm sorry dude, I feel for you. You were doing really well then. Doing really well. So I think we're all still having some issues, aren't we, with the PS5 version and the update and what it did and didn't update. So but stay with us, buddy. Join in the live chat, get involved. We've got a Superkart Ray fan club in there, you'll see them. Matthew and yes, we're trying to get Superkart Ray into the top 10 so that we can get some t-shirts. That's what we do. No, Matthew, they do need to pit. It's mandatory. Right, so Rob 2K, Mighty Road Racing. So Rob is keeping a watching brief on this. Now, I know for a fact that Elysium, okay, he's got a good run down there, and the inside line, he should make that one stick. And he chopped in front, didn't he? Let's be honest. Yeah, he was not backing out of that. So Elysium, if Elysium didn't back out of that slightly, there was definitely going to be contact. So good clean driving from the pair of them. And Elysium, you go hunting now, mate. See what it's like. As Rob's still keeping a watching brief on them. Ash is still there. Ash is ready to pounce. And Rob got a bit twitchy in his Beamer there. You saw that coming out of that last turn. No change in the top 3. No change in the top 4. No GT Jamie. No change top 6. These boys haven't changed. So your top 10 is static at the moment in terms of positions. Obviously the midfield pack we've just been watching are having a great little battle. SJ Disco, he's not that far away. He's still keeping them honest. And then Kagatacos and Lamaro are still going for it. So Superkart Ray's lost a place there. You can see him in the rearview mirror. So we were on board with Kaga before, trying to chase down Superkart Ray. That has obviously resulted in a move or an off or something like that. and Kaga and Supercar Ray have swapped positions. So Lamaro is the next target for the 88 Porsche. Kaga would love a top 10 finish just so that he didn't have to get a t-shirt. Hi, how are you? Hope you're well. Again, anyone that hasn't liked, you know, if you're sitting here, if you're listening to me, if you're watching the racing, if you appreciate what's going on here, take half a second, press the like button. I would really appreciate that. As Kaga Tacos, Lamaro again. Lamaro didn't. Oh, Lamaro's ended up losing it now. Obviously, I've been on board and watched that happen. Kaga Tacos was not in the wrong there. He had that line to make that corner, and Lamaro did do the right thing. He obviously tried to keep it on track, tried to make it as difficult as possible for Kaga, and then unfortunately ended up losing it. So Supercar Ray now has a sniff of the 88 Porsche, and Kaga gets all out of shape. So Supercar Ray is going to take 12. Hard on the brakes, buddy. Not too deep. Supercar Ray manages to move himself up into 12th place. So we've got some great battles going on. Look at the acceleration on that Porsche, man. It's just crazy. And you're Volton, where's he at? How far behind are you, Volton? 5 seconds. So he could catch up with these boys. He could catch up with these boys because they are scrapping. So he's probably thinking, I can still get involved in this. Beamer Power's currently 15th still. Further 3 seconds back, and Supercar Ray throws it off the track. I'll tell you, I don't know what to say. Don't know what to say about that, to be honest. That's unfortunate. So Lamaro now finds himself in 16th, so he's looking to bring that fight back towards Beamer Power and Evoltum. They're not too far ahead of him, so I'm sure these boys are going to become friends very shortly. And then we've got Reedy. In his Lexus is currently in 17th place. Let's get on board and have a quick look at Reedy in his Lexus. You can see the boys in front of him. He just be consistent, reel them in slowly but surely, or faster probably. And 1-1 Ferrari, and his Ferrari is currently in 18th. He's not having a great time this evening. Zubair's doing well in his Beamer. He's currently in 19th position. And then Yo Mr. White Stuff is in 20th. Again, just a brief on him. Remember, his debut race started really well, 10th in qualifying, was doing really well in the race. I mean, really keeping pace well, and then got himself into an issue at the corkscrew, and now he's in 20th, unfortunately. Iceman Sean UK's moved up nicely, he's in 21st. Smalley's in 22nd, has pitted though, remember. And then Bruges started last, didn't even set a time. He has pitted, he's currently 23rd. Hutch is in the pits at the moment. Look at that beautiful Ferrari in front, 101. You know whose that belongs to, people. Me. Fearless Freak, Faco brings up the rear, and we would have had 27, but GTJ 1982, if you remember, his game crashed. So that is your order at the moment, ladies and gents. No change, top 3. All pretty evenly gapped, although Crazies looks like he now wants to try and exert some pressure on Michael. Maybe just before pit stops. Freeman's still there. Jamie's still there. Pony's got to be happy with that at the moment. Where's Keno? Where is Keno? Let's have a look and see what's happened to him. So maybe that was a crash as well. Just drop him a message. See, look, live reporting, trying to talk to the drivers whilst bringing you all this action. Is that Supercar Ray getting out of the way there? It might have been. As these two carry on their fight. So Marty, so there's now gaps developing now. So Marty, Elysium, Ash and Rob. Well, Rob's ended up at the back of that queue now. We did say his Beamer was looking a little bit squirrely when we was on board with Ash earlier on. I do like the colour on Ash's Beamer, I've got to say. But yeah, SJ Disco still plugging away as well. He's having a bit of a lonely race, if I'm honest with you. I mean, he's got, what's he got? A couple of seconds, probably 3-4 seconds ahead to catch up with Rob, and then he's got 11 seconds back to Kaga. So he's just got to keep punching in those lap times, just making sure he's hitting all his braking markers, getting his steering points correct. Oh dear, is that Rob? It is Rob. Again, I think Rob's tyres are gone. Maybe he should have pitted a lap or two earlier. I mean, we did see on Sunday in the GT3 Sunday, the undercut here was really strong, as we've got Alexis coming out of the pits there, which is probably Reedy. Yeah, so Reedy's on his way back out. Top 3, no change in the top. No change in the top 10. Right. So SJ Disco's hoping that he can really get onto the back of these guys. No message back yet. Well, let's see what happens there. So Rob's going to be pretty disappointed with that, because SJ Disco, which is pretty good actually, considering where he qualified and how he's run his race so far, with that, well, with what's just happened there, he's ended up putting himself up into 10th. Obviously Rob had that spin, he's in 11th. We're surprised he hasn't pitted yet. I'm really surprised he hasn't pitted yet. And Keno's just messaged me as well. He's got disconnected. Boys, and it happened to me on Thursday when I came out of retirement and was spanking everybody, absolutely spanking them all at Monza. I got disconnected, which was a shame, because that would have been a win. 82, who is 82? Speeding in the pit lane, Zuber. Probably up changed or something like that, so that's unfortunate. If any designs he had on a decent race finish is gone. And we have a blinker at the top. Crazies has put it in the pits. Crazies, Pony Feeder's in the pits, and so is Elysium. So we are now hitting that time of the race. I did say the undercut is strong here, so Crazies is hoping that he can get that done on Michael. But that's really unfortunate, Keno. I'm so sorry to hear that, mate. That is a real shame, And when it happened to me the other day, it wouldn't then let me back in. It just kept saying the game was disabled. So Crazies is on his way out of the pits. Pony Feeder is making his way out as well. That to me looks like Pony Feeder has had a quicker stop than Crazies. We'll see how it shakes out. Michael's decided to come into the pits, so it's all going to get interesting now. And I think that was Supercar Ray is also in the pits in the 58 Ferrari. Yes, indeed, there he is. Elysium's on his way out in the 7 Merc, as you can see at the bottom of the pit lane. And Lamaro is also in the pit. So, Michael, and where is he? Crazies. That's what we need to keep our eye on. Crazies and Michael. I don't know, I mean, I say it all the time. Yeah, Crazies is really strong in the pits. So we're just halfway, so we've got 30 minutes left to go. Crazies is strong on his pit stops as Michael leaves his box. Okay, Crazies is coming up towards the corkscrew. No chance. So maybe Crazies pitted for fuel as well, or maybe Crazies had some damage from something we didn't see, because I thought it was totally clean start on that. So maybe there was an issue with that and he's had to come in and get that fixed. But no, I mean, you got to remember, they came into the pits. Michael was what, 4.5 tenths ahead of Crazies. That's a bit different now, so I'll be interested to find out what happens there. Thank you all 10 that are currently watching, 11 that are currently watching. If you haven't yet, please do press the like button. It takes half a second. We're all sat here, we're all getting involved, we're all watching these boys, and it would just be great. Helps the channel, helps get more exposure to what I'm doing, comes by Coops, and also to Formula Racing League. So everyone's a winner, really. Traction's in, Freeman's in. Freeman, just parked behind the best car on the grid. Keno's in. Keno, I'm glad you're in the chat, mate. I'm glad you've come to watch. Yeah, and just for that, buddy, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put your teammate on for a few moments, whilst we just figure out the pit stops for Traction and Freeman. So gutted for you, mate. Really am. So annoying when that happens. So we've got 84's just got himself a drive through as well. So Beamer Power. There's 2 guys who've got themselves stop and goes. I did say drive-through, excuse me there. So obviously if you speed in the pit lane, you'd get a stop and go 30-second penalty, which means quite evidently you have to stop for 30 seconds before you can go, rather than the track limit's 10-second drive-through. So I'm going to get off Pony. I don't want to jinx his race. So if you think about the team championship now, then, so obviously Kino's not in the race, so Pony's the only guy who can score points. Hutch is the only guy who's racing on his team because King of the Hills isn't here. There's quite a few instances where that's happening at the moment. So is that Ash who's coming up behind there? Believe so. So Kagatako's in the pits, as is Rob 2K. So all of this is going to shake out shortly. Yvolton is usually the king of the long drive, so I'm pretty sure he's going to try and just hang it out there as long as he can, as Marty decides it's his turn to come and get rid of those tyres. Beautiful throw there. So that's blue on it. I like that blue on that Ferrari. So Jamie's now out up top. Now we can't say he doesn't know the track. As I said, we were here on Sunday, and he was using his controller on Sunday, so he's got his wheel out today, which is nice of him, really. Ooh, fighting talk. Kino, we've got our strong races coming. Good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. As Marty, he comes into the pits now as well from 4th. So pit stops have almost shaken out. So if I have a look at the gaps in terms of net positions when Jamie actually comes into the pits, so traction's still out up front. What happened to Crazies, man? So Crazies came in when 3rd place, 4.5 tenths behind Michael in 2nd. We know we had a longer stop. We called that because Pony was behind him in the pits, and they both kind of left at pretty much the same time. So Michael's now got himself nearly a 10-second gap back to Freeman, which, happy days. I mean, that's like Christmas, isn't it? Yvolton's doing fantastic, but he's not going to figure in that, obviously, after he's done his pit stop. And so then you've got Crazies. So Crazies has lost out to Freeman, and Marty's now coming out of the pit, so there's some big gaps developing at the moment. In terms of close battles, I have to say, Reedy's all over the back of Superkart Ray. Superkart Ray, his fan club are going to be very happy that he's back on the screen. Who's that off there? Who is that off? That was a Merc. It wasn't Lamaro, because it was green. Well, Yo Mr. White Smurf is in the pits. I don't know if that was him, but he's in neutral 3 laps, so we'll see if he comes out or not. Vaco is still running in 25th, and Zubair is still out there in 26th. As I always say, boys, just keep putting those laps in, guys. Finish the race, okay? You will get points. It's all great experience. GT Jamie's currently out up top. He still has not pitted yet. He has a 27-second gap, and there's someone else. There's another crash going on there. Or was that Crazies? No, it can't have been Crazies. It wasn't Ash. No, it wasn't Rob either. So that was Fearless, I think. Very, very interesting. Everyone's pitted now, so they shouldn't be having issues with tyres, boys. Should not be having issues with tyres. So really still putting that pressure on Superkart Ray. This is for 16th and 17th place. Whose Beamer was that? 2. Ah, Zubair. Okay, so Zubair's having a mare at the moment. But I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do the rhyming thing. Oh, here we go. How is Superkart Ray 16th? I think, Matthew, I think he knows you're doing clothes. That's probably why he's 16. Maybe he thinks the joke's actually on you rather than him. Kino says, yeah, Chris is up. Yeah, Chris is doing well. He is doing well. And JR's in. Hello, Locker Load. How are you doing, buddy? Obviously supporting Marty and Freeman. JR Locker Load, or JR Sim Racing, as we've just seen a beautiful pirouette there. But I missed that properly because I'm too busy talking to you guys in the chat. But that's okay. Yeah, JR's in, supporting the Run DJC team. I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong there, JR, that's something that you initiate and you get involved with. Maybe run, help, I don't know. I'll be interested to know more. And GTJ 1982 says thanks, I'm going to enjoy watching the rest of the race. Of course you can, mate. You are more than welcome. All of you are welcome, all 12 of you. However, there's 2 missing. There's 2 likes missing out of those 12 that are watching at the moment. So if you haven't pressed like, take half a second and do it. Otherwise I'll ban you. No, I'm joking. Right, up top, traction is still in first place. Now one thing that I can't actually, I mean I might have to bring my Ferrari out shortly, because I can't have traction winning 2 races. Because, I mean, this is getting a bit silly now, isn't it? Michael owns all the lap records and won the Race of Champions, and now Traction's decided that he can actually drive a little bit, and he's starting to do the same thing. So, boys, come on. Come on, let's give these Geordies something to think about. Freeman is currently in 3rd place, again for the championship in terms of individual championship and team. That is good for him. Ideally, he'd want to be finishing ahead of Michael, because they're probably going to swap over. But obviously it's still keeping it tight. This is only round 3, remember, of an 8-round season 4 of this Taco Tuesday on the PS5 Tier 1. And you've well, I'm telling you, Chris has probably got a pit with 3 laps left to go, or when the tyres complete. Cooper tyres. Yeah, I thought that was your team, JR. Yeah, very well, mate, very well. How did you get on in your race the other day? I know I only popped in for a little while and then had to vacate to come and do this. But yeah, let me know how you got on with that one. And how are you finding it on the PC? Without trying to get everyone to go on the PC. So Jamie's still in 6th. He's doing really well. He's got to be happy with that. Pony is in 7th, but probably net 6th. So I think Pony's had a very strong race today, again, which I'm sure will please his teammate Dave. Marty's in 8th, and you remember earlier on in the race we had this epic fight between Marty, Ash, Elysium and Rob 2K. SJ Disco was probably about 8 seconds down the road, and those 4, there was about 4 tenths between them for about 4 or 5 laps. It was really, really good, close door-to-door racing, you know, totally clean, no one had any offs. That's certainly been a highlight of this so far. But everybody at the moment is doing nice, is doing really well. No one's having any major issues. Let's get on board with Jamie. So Yvolton, his tyres got to be dying now in that Bentley. Got to be dying with the track temp and knowing how much stick he's indicating he's getting out of the way. Beautiful driving, Chris. See, there you go, everybody. If you've never seen an FRL race before, there's a snippet for you. Okay, you've got 28 Tier 1 guys blasting around this track. Someone knows that, okay, he needs to pit, his tyres are gone. What does he do there? Does he sit there and try and fight GT Jamie? Nothing to do with them both being Scottish, obviously. Nothing to do with it. But does he sit there and fight GT Jamie for position, knowing he's probably going to pit at the end of this lap, or does he get out of the way? Yeah, so the more stubborn alphas amongst us would probably try and stay in the way and fight till the last shred of that tyre is still there and then kill about 16 people. Or you do the sporting thing and you just get out of the way, get your lap done, don't interfere. So well done, Chris, that was nice, buddy. So Traction's still up front, Michael's still 2nd, so this will be, at the moment, again, I mean, it's looking like a team 1-2, which, and for of course, Ferrari 1-2, does that sound familiar? Anybody over the last few days? I'm sure you've all caught up and watched it by now. But they are doing well, these boys. They are dominating at the moment. Freeman's doing well in 3rd. Crazies is still hanging on there in 4th place. So he's not going to be happy with that from being on the podium. I want to know if it was fuel or if it was damage. That's what I want to know, Crazies. Pascanova's Go Bruges. We'll have a look at Bruges in a minute. He's up to 13th. Bruges actually deployed a very interesting strategy at the start of this race, and one which has been spoken about in the paddock, aka Discord, throughout the day, in terms of the type of track it is and how there could be death everywhere. And Bruges just thought, no, that's not happening. He didn't even set a lap in qualifying, started plumb last, Did a few laps, got his tyres changed, and he has been steadily working his way through the field. He's in 13th now, so potentially a top 10 finish for Bruges. Ash, I'm impressed with, you know. Ash each week has joined us as a reserve. Granted, he's had free choice of car there, so obviously the Beamer's his baby at the moment. Don't hit that sausage curb, we'll get off him. But apart from that, he has impressed. I mean, he's in the top 10 again. Doesn't make many mistakes. Doesn't get involved in, you know, didn't drive in a way that is dangerous. Who was that? Who was just off there? Don't know. 444. Wow. That is the commentator's curse, without a doubt. Yeah, get out of the way, Ash. Not when the leaders are coming through, big guy. So Bruges is in 13th, so he's now catching up onto the back of Ash, and he has got Kagatacos all over the back of him. Kaga's having a brilliant race, actually. He also didn't qualify well at all. I think he was like 23rd, maybe, or something like that. He was, yeah, good 3.5 to 4 seconds off the pace in qualifying, but he has steadily gone about his job this evening, just being consistent, pumping in those lap times. Yeah, not setting the world alight, but enough to take advantage when he's needed to, and just to keep that consistency. So he's up to 14th. Well done, that man. Smalley's in 15th. Reedy is currently in 16th. Then we've got Lamaro in his Merc, the 85 Merc, in 17th. Good 13 seconds down, so that isn't, yeah, I mean, he's not going to be massively happy with that. We've got our superstar driver of the day, Superkart Ray. That all flowed beautifully, didn't it? Superkart Ray, boys. Yeah. Aquino says Pony's consistency is getting better and better each season. Yeah. It's good to see. You know, this game does reward. It does reward for time and practice. You know, there's no umming and ahhing about that. It looks like Kaga's got that move done on Bruges. Yep. So Kaga's on a mission at the moment. We'll see how how much further he can get up the field. I'm sure Bruges will have something to say about that. Yes, so Matty is still having a giggle about the t-shirts and Superkart Ray. These two have been having an evening long chat about that, which is fantastic. I like it. Keeps me entertained whilst I watch these boys keeping you entertained. So Reedy's in 16th, we've done that one already. Superkart Ray's in 18th at the moment. He was in touching distance, weren't he, lads, of that top 10 for a t-shirt. 1-1 Ferrari's in 19th, hasn't had the best of races. Oh, and we've got someone turned round in a Bentley. Was that Christoph? No. Anyway, so 1-1 Ferrari didn't have an amazing qualifying session. Steadily been going through the race. I think he had an off on lap 1, or certainly got turned round, and that kind of put paid to all of his plans really for this race. But he's still at it. He's still pushing as he should. Fearless Freak's in 20th. Fearless shouldn't really be in 20th place, I don't think. That's not where he should be, but he finds himself there, as does Hutch. And Hutch, I had so much hope for him, so much hope for Hutch at the start of this race, you know, with that new setup he showed us today, but things take time to bed in. So again, just finish the race, get the laps done, get some points in the bag. Iceman Sean UK, again, he's doing well. He's only been with us a few weeks. He's 22nd at the moment, but I think the pace is improving all the time. Facco in his McLaren, he's 23rd currently, not having the race of his life, I'm sure he would say. And Zuber's had quite a few little mistakes, but again, Zuber's new with us, and I'm positive Zuber's new as a driver really for ACC as a whole. So I mean, what a place to come and learn. Can be daunting, but dude, just keep going. By the end of 2 seasons, your pace will have improved dramatically. And you know, Mr. White Smurf, unfortunately, I think his race is done. He's 10 laps in the pits. Debut with us tonight, fantastic qualifying session, finished 10th there. Good pace in the race as well. Had a couple of issues then further into the race and has obviously retired. But impressed with you, mate. Well done. So, no change, top 3. Crazies is still 4th, 10 seconds off the pace from Freeman. So that podium is looking unlikely for Crazies, which I'm sure he'll have nightmares about tonight and won't sleep. Whatever that issue was in the pits, that will haunt him tonight, because we know Crazies loves a podium. and I mean he loves a podium. GT Jamie's still running in 5th place, and Pony is having a nice race in 6th. Right, I want to find a close one. I don't want to stick on anybody too long that's close to the top, because I don't want to put a curse on anything. So 1-1. Right, I think this has got trouble written all over it. 1-1 Ferrari and Superkart Ray in the Ferrari. What do we think, guys? Superkart's had it off the track a lot, and 1-1's been off the track as well. Now, and they've got to be disappointed, because I mean the Ferrari's 1 and 2 and 6, so we know the Ferrari can move around here. But this is currently the closest one, and Faco and Iceman Sean UK are pretty close down there as well. 8/10. Rob 2K and SJ Disco. That looks interesting as well. Let's keep an eye on that. 4/10 between these two, 5/10 between 1-1 and Superkart Ray. So I will keep an eye on those deltas just while we have a little browse of this one. We've got Beamer versus McLaren. I'm sure Rob wants that place back. And SJ Disco, do you know what, SJ Disco, he's done extremely well this race. He has really pushed through from the back of the grid. I mean, some people like pushing through from the back, don't they? Others don't. Others like taking it from the front. I don't know, whatever. These boys are getting closer and closer. You'd have to say, I mean, we know Rob's had a couple of issues with that Beamer. She has got a little bit tail happy on a couple of occasions, and I also know from watching that McLaren, not SJ Disco's McLaren, but watching the McLaren on Sunday, when I did the comms for the GT3 Sunday League, that the McLaren was like, she was trying to kill people with no notice whatsoever. So anything could happen in that one. 1-1 is now 3 seconds behind Superkart Ray. Remember, he was 4 or 5/10, which means he's had an off. There's no question about that. So he's now 3.6 behind. So we don't need to focus on that one, unfortunately. Superkart Ray fan club, we can stay on this one with Rob and SJ Disco. Let's see what the McLaren looks and sounds and feels like compared to that Beamer. Now the Beamer seems very sort of, she seems quite mundane, just very, what's the word I'm looking for, robotic, boring. I think that's probably the best word to use there. You know, just does what it says on the tin, you know, German engineered and all those things. Whereas obviously the McLaren, she sounds busier, she looks like she needs a hustle. Probably got to keep the grey matter turning a bit more to drive her quickly. So I'll have the Beamer, please. I'm getting too old to think quickly now. Yeah, I don't think Superkart Ray is going to get any kind of hustle on at the moment. Although now he is behind 1-1 Ferrari, and Lamaro looks like he's had an off. I hope that they didn't have a coming together, because that would be unfortunate. That would be unfortunate. Right. So as we say, no change up the top really at all. The top 6, top 7 are all exactly as you were. Same kind of gaps. No one's really, you know, making any inroads on each other. So everyone's got their groove. Everyone's finding their pace. Elysium finds himself up to 8th. He's got to be happy with that. Yeah. Okay. Fine. And then we've had SJ Disco and Rob are still battling it out. There's only 3 turns. Is that going to present a chance? Are we going to have contact? No, we don't. No, we don't. So that was wise from Rob. I think SJ Disco was probably holding his breath a little bit there as they went into the top of the corkscrew. But they both evaded each other and can fight another day. As I said in the Discord earlier on today, everybody has 60 minutes to plot their path to success. It's not worth taking you on someone else out. But they're fighting, which means Kaga's coming back at them slowly. We can see the view from Kaga's Porsche, and Bruges is only 3 seconds behind in 12th as well. So there could be some later stuff starts to develop. Ash is 13th, Smalley's 14th, Yovolton is 15th, second behind Smalley, and then Reedy in his Lexus is, well, Smalley's had an issue there, is he? Because Reedy's just gone past him. Yovolton goes into the Andretti hairpin. I'll tell you what, guys, do you know what? How many's still in? We've got 7. Okay. You 7 that are still watching, thank you very much, okay, because it is frustrating doing the comms in this way, I have to say, as we've got Alexis getting right out of shape there, and was that Small? No, it's not Smalley. That was Reedy getting all out of shape. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Well, it is the way it is, I suppose. So Superkart Ray and 1-1 Ferrari are getting back together again. These two, they're like a band, aren't they? Yeah? Phyllis is 20th, Hutch is 21st, Iceman Sean UK 22nd still on Facco. Well, Facco, let's have a look at this, shall we? Oh, and Hutch has gone for a wander. Come on, Hutch, don't double spin it. And that's Ash goes by. SJ Disco, so he's had a problem because he's down in 12th. Wow. So I don't know if people are pushing too hard or they're taking the eye off the ball a little bit, but so Bruges is now truly in the fight. Kaga, look at Kaga. Kaga is 9th. He wasn't 9th a little while ago. We were just talking about him on the rundown to the first corner, saying how well he was doing, and he was managing to have a look at Rob and SJ have a scrap. So those two have obviously connected at some stage, because Bruges is well in the mix and all. So things are heating up towards the end of this one. Zally Grace. Who is Zally Grace? In an Audi in the pits. Car number 25. Exit the server, please. I don't know why you're in there. Don't know why you are in there. So, up top, Traction, Michael, Freeman. There's your podium currently. No change there. Crazies has brought that gap down from 9.9 seconds to 9 flat, basically. So that's not going to happen before the end of the race. GT Jamie, now, there, he's miles behind and all. And so Pony as well. Pony's not a million miles behind GT Jamie 141, but I tell you who is trying to make a move at the moment is Mighty Road Racing in the 226 Mercedes. So you just saw Pony just go left out his shot there, so he looks like he's catching him up, and he is. That delta's come down by 3/10 very, very quickly. So I'm going to stick on this for a little while, because it is probably the closest battle we've got towards, you know, towards the business end of the field, shall we say. Elysium's still in 8th, so he will definitely be happy with that. So at the start of the show, if him and Limaro can get a half decent points finish tonight, they will move themselves off the bottom of the team championship. I'm sure they're going to be happy to do that if they stay as is. So keep concentrating, boys, is all I can say. Kaga's got to be super happy with that. Also, his teammate's not in. Dragon on Speed was not racing with us tonight, so Kaga, that could be a really good, a very important haul of points for your team, buddy. And Rob's rounding out the top 10 currently in his 75 Beamer. Bruges dropped off from him. That was only like 8-9 a couple of laps ago. That's now 3.5 seconds. Ash has dropped off, so I think Rob and SJ Disco had contact, because obviously they were together. SJ Disco's now 13th. And Ash may have got involved with some contact with them as well, because he's too far off Bruges, and he's probably too far in front of SJ Disco from where those little midfield guys were placed throughout the race so far. Yovolton's in 14th. He's got to be happy with that. He'd definitely be happy with the 14th place finish, I think, from where he qualified. Smalley's 15th. Actually, do you know what? This is really important. Dear. Right, I'll tell you what. Matthew Lawrence, I think his brother's Martin Lawrence, because I mean he is pretty funny. My name's Martin, but it's not Lawrence. Yeah, Superkart Ray, if you're finding it too difficult, if you're finding it too difficult, lower the difficulty in the settings. I'm having that say, and that is fantastic. Yeah, lower that difficulty. I can't do a commentator's curse from 117, mate, unfortunately, because it won't work. There is no commentator's curse. But yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Right, so traction, Michael and Freeman again, no change. Crazies has brought that down by a second now, but that may just be the fact that Freeman might be taking it a little bit easy. There's not a huge amount of pressure on him. Mighty Road Racing's got that gap down to Pony now, down to under 2 seconds, so that's a second in the last lap that we've just had a look at. So Pony, I mean, I don't actually, I can't even see how long we've got left because my head's in the way in terms of the camera, so we'll just have a guess at that. That could develop. SJ Disco's now a second behind Ash, and these boys, the 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th, have been fighting all race long as a quartet, but a little bit higher up the pack. So Elysium's the winner out of that, as is Kagatako's. What's that gap now? That's less than 2 seconds, I think. 1.2. Okay, this is going to develop, no doubt about it. Might be a tyre issue, might be a fuel issue, you never know. I've seen other races where people have had to go into fuel saving mode much earlier than you would normally think someone would, just to get to the end. You can see there's another little mistake there by Pony Feeder. Maybe I shouldn't watch this, maybe I'm cursing him. Sorry Kino if you're watching, but it's the closest one on track. And Marty also knows for the team championship he needs to bring in some good points, so that will of course be on his mind. So 1-1 Ferrari and Superkart Ray, the two Ferrari boys, those two are still together in 17th and 18th. Lamaro's still in the top 20, which, guys, come on, we've got a 30-man grid. I know it's not 30 on there at the moment, but it's still good going as we go. Oh, okay, so I think there's a major problem there for Pony, because he was so slow. Actually, you know what it is? I figured it out. I've got it. Pony had been having issues with his brakes sticking. Yeah, I had a chat with him after Thursday's race when I got bombed out the server and thought he had, but he was saying for a couple of races now the pedals have been sticking. So I think you'll find that's probably what's happening to him now, which is affecting where he's braking, because especially into the corkscrew there, he was braking. It was not well. He was braking terribly late. So who have we got in the way? Who's 75? Where's 75? So that's Bob 2K. Right, leaders on the final lap. Wow, 42 laps completed. On lap 43, Traction Dave looks like he's going to actually take his second win within Formula Racing League. 2 different championships, both at the same track. Maybe Laguna is his circuit. Who knows? Right, can Pony hold on? That's what I want to know. I think he can. He went a little bit deeper in there than last time, but I think he's good. I think he's good on that one. Right, so I'm going to have a quick look down. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's just a second between those two. Okay, SJ Disco's looking to have a battle with Ash there. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this for a couple more seconds, but we need to go back to Traction. See him finish the race. In terms of gaps everywhere else, we're all pretty good. Lamaro's 6 tenths off Superkart Ray. Oh no, Superkart Ray, boys. Well, we've got to see it. Okay, here we go then. Traction Dave. I can't believe I'm doing this again. Howie! You canny little lad, Dave. Fantastic. Don't let Michael win. Get across that line. I know you want to do some kind of formation stuff. Ah, look at them. Formation. Well done, boys. Tutti alla frutti. Ferrari. However, whatever that means. I know what it means. I watch Formula 1. I listen to them. Mamma mia. And all that kind of stuff. Well done, Traction. Well done, Michael. Michael, you got to do something about this now. Okay? We can't have him smiling on his camera all the time. We want to see him having heart attacks. Gonna have more donuts? More donuts, boys? Probably. So Freeman comes across the line in third place. There is your podium. Well done, Traction. Well done, Michael. And well done, Freeman 82. Great drive from you three. Crazies comes home in fourth. Not a bad drive, Crazies. Just couldn't get that podium today. GT Jamie's currently in fifth. Pony Feeder is oh my word. Okay, this is going to be a lunge. Is his last chance. He's mighty close. Who's got that power down first? It looks like Pony Feeder's gonna keep that. Well done, Pony Feeder. Great racing, Marty. So those boys finish. So GT Jamie finishes 5th, Pony Feeder 6th, Marty Road Racing 7th. Elysium looks like he's gonna bring it home, and have had excellent finish there in 8th place. Kagatacos 9th, Bruges 10th in the pits. Ash finished 11th. He had a great race today. SJ Disco, he also was pretty impressive in how he sort of steadily moved up through the field. Smalley finished 13th, Yvolton 14th. Good finish by those two. Chris will definitely be happy with that. Reedy 15th, Rob 2K 16th. He won't be happy with that. He was probably up around 8th. He was fighting 8th and 9th and 10th for a big portion of that race. So ended up 16th. 1-1 Ferrari 17th. Supercar Ray finished 18th. So I'm sorry, Matthew, and I am sorry. Yes, the Supercar Ray fan club. He didn't want you to have there's no t-shirts, basically. You're going to freeze. Limaro 19th, picking up some decent points for that team there. Fearless Freak, Hutch, Iceman Sean UK. Then we had Faco and Zubair. And yo, Mr. White Smurf, okay, didn't finish the race, but again, for his debut, I thought he did extremely well. What do we think? What do you think about that? Ladies and gents, I think that was thoroughly entertaining. Another 60 minutes, a grueling 60 minutes of hardcore driving completed by our PS5 guys. That was round 3. Obviously, if you want to check out the standings on that, probably give it about half an hour, if that, and then go on to formularacinglink.co.uk. Will Friedman will no doubt have all of those stats updated extremely quickly. And obviously, whilst you're on there, you can have a look at anything else within Formula Racing League that you want to get involved with. Merch, Patreon, leagues, sign-ups, whatever you want. Okay? And obviously, just to say a thank you to everyone that's watched tonight. I think we've had a good little crowd in here. We've had a bit of a laugh. I like the new chaps that have come in, and obviously people that always come in. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. If you haven't, please do like. If you haven't subbed, sub. And if you want to buy me a coffee, you know what to do. So I think we can wrap that up. So that was round 3 of season 4. Taco Tuesday at Laguna. Next week we are at Imola for a 90-minute special. Okay, so next week you get to be in the car for 90 minutes. Right here. Unless there's a patch. So yeah, that'll be me done for this week on the comms. Thursday evening, if you want to have a watch, I will be racing. So beware, all of you PS5 drivers. I gave you a taste of it at Monza. And I've been commentating on Laguna for 2-3 races now, so I know the track quite well. So we'll see you all Thursday. Back on comms for GT3 Sunday. But yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure. Well done to our podium and all that took part. And on that note, guys, I shall bid you all a good evening. Comms by Coops, out.